Hello and welcome. I'm Cosette, and I usually write about tarot and other subjects, but seeing all the amazing TarotTube videos of this hashtag inspired me to give this a try. Thea at Garden Goddess Tarot and Meg at Rose Honey Ritual started the hashtag Only 10 Mass Market Decks. And when it comes to tarot, video is such a fun way to show the cards. So, if I was traveling to a deserted island and I could only take 10 mass market decks, here are the tarot decks I would take. The first one is the CBD Tarot de Marseille by Yoav Ben-Dov. I love Tarot de Marseille, and the CBD is one of my favorites. It's such a beautiful, elegant restoration of the Convert deck published in 1760. I love the colors. I love how clean it is, the lines. It's just a gorgeous, gorgeous deck. Dr. Ben-Dov published his CBD Tarot independently, and sadly he died in 2016. US Games now publishes it, and I see it often in stores, and I just think it's a beautiful, affordable, and accessible option for people who are looking to learn more about the Tarot de Marseille. I have both versions of the deck. The cardstock of the US Games version is thicker, which I think is good. It makes for a sturdier deck, and I don't notice any difference in the artwork. Of course, it comes with a little white booklet, but if you really want to dive into it, I recommend getting Dr. Ben-Dov's own book on Tarot de Marseille. Next is the Book of Thoth by Etteilla, published by Scarabeo. I love this deck because it's beautiful and it's different from modern tarot decks with its numbers 1 through 78 and the Fool being 78. And it has this structure that begins with creation, with chaos, and then the virtues. And finally, we get to some of those more familiar cards like the Devil and the Magician, Judgment. And I love the Death card. I just think it's absolutely beautiful. I love this deck so much, and I have other versions of it. Tarot by 7 uses Etteilla imagery in her Tarot of the Bastard, and I love that deck. I have the Samhain version, and it's one of my favorites as well. No tarot list of mine would be complete without a Rider-Waite Smith, this classic by A.E. Waite and Pamela Colman Smith, or Pixie. I have about 20 different Pixie decks, blue boxes, yellow boxes, US Games, Little Scarabeo, and so forth. And if I can only keep or recommend one mass market version that is currently available, it's this one, the Centennial edition by US Games. I love the softer colors of the Centennial and Pixie's original lettering. The Centennial edition comes with extra cards just to show more of Pixie's artwork. If you can, spring for the commemorative set, which includes a couple of books, some prints, and some other goodies in a keepsake case. And I also like the Centennial Tarot deck in a tin. It's the one I tend to carry with me when I'm on the go. Next on my list is the Thoth Tarot by Aleister Crowley and painted by Lady Frieda Harris. This is also from US Games, and there are several versions of the Thoth Tarot. I have a pocket sized version, but I like this large one because I can see the art better, and that is my favorite thing about this deck. I just love the art. I love how dynamic and alive this deck feels, like the sense of motion in it. I just love it. This death card is one of my favorite representations of death in the tarot. I just love the colors. I love the sense of movement, the sense of motion. It's just fantastic. I love the art of the Thoth Tarot. This is the Golden Dawn Magical Tarot by Chic Cicero and Tabatha Cicero. This one is by Llewellyn. I'm not a serious, deep student of the Golden Dawn or the Kabbalah, but I have a deep appreciation for this deck. I consider it one of my level up decks. This is a deck that expands my knowledge not only of the tarot, but also of the tarot as a tool for personal work, not just divination. I love the intense, deep colors, the flashing colors. It's another really dynamic tarot deck. I can't say that this tarot comes with a little white booklet. It comes with a full-size book. An excellent book, tells you a lot about this tarot, and it gives a really solid introduction to the Golden Dawn and the Kabbalah. Next is the Robin Wood Tarot by Robin Wood, published by Llewellyn. I love this Magician card, and this High Priestess card, and this Empress card, and I could go on and on. This is a deck that I bought for myself in the early years of my tarot journey. I was a teenaged pagan, and I really appreciated that this deck minimized the heavy Christian symbolism that is in the Rider-Waite Smith. I liked the earthier approach of this tarot and its use of symbols and images that were familiar to me, that still are familiar to me as a pagan. It's a bright and deep deck, but it still has a softness to it that I really, really like. And I don't know, this is one of those decks that just has a special spot in my heart, even though I don't even use it very much anymore. Of course, it comes with a little white booklet, and there's also this book. I don't know if this is still in print, but if it is, I would recommend getting this along with the deck. This is the Mythic Tarot by Juliet Sharman Burke and Liz Greene, published by Simon & Schuster. So this deck, I think, was first published in the late 1980s and has been re-illustrated since then. My deck is old, so if you were to go out and buy a brand new one today, it wouldn't look exactly like this one. This deck is based on Greek mythology and depicts Greek goddesses and gods and heroes in the cards. I love the Greek pantheon and I love Greek mythology, so this is one of my favorite decks and I use this one quite a lot. Each of the suits tell the famous Greek myth. For example, the Swords is the story of Orestes after he kills his mother Clytemnestra and the Erinyes pursue him. Apollo is there and Athena steps in. It comes with a book that explains the myths and everything in the cards. There's also the Mythic Tarot workbook, which I suppose must have been sold separately, but I don't remember, and I'm not even sure if this is still in print. This is Dame Fortune's Wheel Tarot by Paul Huson, published by Scarabeo. This is one of my all-time favorite tarot decks. A simple way to describe it would be to say that it's like Tarot de Marseille, but there's so much more to it than that. This deck has images that recall historical Italian and French tarot decks, playing card patterns. It's Tarot de Marseille, but it's a bit of Etteilla. It's got some history, it's got mythology, it's got scenes that recall medieval illustrations. It's beautiful. I love the intense, bold colors. I love this face on the devil's body. The pips recall Tarot de Marseille, but they're fully illustrated. And this deck is so readable. It has a lot to say. I'm surprised I don't hear more about it. It comes with a little white booklet. Oh yeah, and it comes with an extra card, the significator. And there's also a PDF out there on the internet, and I think this book is sold separately. This is the Tarot de Carlotydes by Carlota Santos, who's a Spanish illustrator. It's published by Fournier. You can see it has the titles in English and in Spanish. This is the most whimsical tarot deck in my collection. I tend to go more for historical decks and Rider-Waite Smith decks, but I couldn't resist this deck. It's just so playful. I love this death card. It's just so gorgeous. I love the color palette, the pop culture references. It's a beautiful deck. Very, very pretty and very sweet. This deck is also a little bit smaller than standard tarot decks, so I really like the way it feels in my hands. I find it easy to shuffle and easy to handle. It comes with a little white booklet, and that's my only complaint about this deck. It has about a paragraph of a description for each card in multiple languages, and what's missing here is a statement from the artist. I would have really liked to have heard more about how the artist came up with these images, what she was thinking, what her process was like. And last but not least is The Wild Unknown by Krans. This is the version by Harper Collins. Of course, this was a famous Kickstarter, and I didn't get it back then. I didn't get this deck for many, many years. I didn't really like it that much. It didn't speak to me very much. Like, I couldn't tell how, a tree was an emperor. But this deck has helped me grow as a tarot reader. It has challenged me to look at the tarot in a different way. And so I have a deep appreciation for it, and I find myself reaching for it more and more. I really do like it a lot. I like the artwork. I like the lines. I like the use of color. And I like the way the deck feels in my hand as well. This death card is so beautiful. It comes with this folded page of descriptions. And there's also a guidebook. I don't remember if I bought this separately. Maybe I did. And that's it. Those are my only 10 mass market decks. Questions, feedback, let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe. Maybe I'll make another video one day.